So hello today and welcome back to another video. And 1 minute. I guess it's recording. Yeah. So my cough is also today remain, but let's just talk about it. Application exploits. So the thing is, we have cross-site scripting. What is cross-site scripting? It is basically an injection type of attack, and in which in injection attacks, mainly in the SQL attacks or any other attacks, it you know the vulnerability is code dependently connected with the server, but in cross-site scripting it basically happens in the client side. Okay, so you may ask why client side is important, but you know you can actually do various malicious things using the cross-site scripting, but you don't need to know that, because if this kind of vulnerability already exists in that particular web application, then you have to just report it, nothing more than that. It can create a lot of problems, but actually it can attack or gives you a little bit of data, something like that. But you don't need to do that. You don't need to write an exploit for it. You have to just find it. Okay, so how to find it? Basically, before finding it, you have to understand three different things, which is the cross-site scripting, or XSS, is three types. First is stored, means it basically stored this particular data, or stored the particular thing in the server. So how to explain it? Let's just came to the simple terms. XSS is basically when you are running an malicious JavaScript code into HTML form or something like that. It doesn't need to be at form. You can run it in the websites too, but morely it depends on when you are running it, as in running a JavaScript code into HTML, and the HTML actually renders that particular code. Similar to HTML injection, it's actually in the HTML injection also comes under cross-site scripting. Basically, what happens that when you are doing something like just sending a message or something like that, and and the HTML thinks it as a paragraph or something like that. But when you upload HTML in that particular code, or HTML in that particular chat or something like that, the HTML reads it as an HTML, not a particular text, not a string. So that is happened in cross-site scripting. Okay, so when you stored it, means the store or persistent, means the attack data is stored on the server. Nothing different there, it's just similar. Next comes the reflected one. The reflected one is basically the most common, the most easiest one. It's basically finding, or just finding an area which is actually doing a client side work. Okay, in SQL, what we are doing, we are finding an area where the backend work is happening. In the IDOR, we also find where the backend work is happening. And in the cross-site scripting, we are about to found where, if I type my name, it's just show my name somewhere, like in a search box. I search something, and there the search term also appears. So in that case, you can actually there's a high chance that you will find XSS there. Then comes the DOM XSS. DOM XSS is basically trying to tackle that particular script or that particular payload to bypass the DOM based kind of system. Like, you are using JavaScript to render that particular text or something like that. You search something, the query you searched also showing there in the website. So you can do that using HTML, you can do that using JavaScript. So JavaScript is more secure, right? So that is the DOM based XSS. Then comes the cross-site request forgery. I'm going to talk about this and click jacking in the upcoming videos. Talk about the security misconfiguration. It's basically comes under the directory reversal and cookie manipulation. It's also a kind of session hijacking attack. Okay, directory manipulation or directory traversal is basically, in a website there you can run any kind of attack. So what you did, you just add some directory file structures in it, and you can find it may be a malicious code or something like that. Let's just see if you have a website like HTTPS and like Instagram, whatever. But then there is a search.php, something like that, and then there is a search down here. So here the XSS can be done, but also one another thing can be done here. Like if you write this particular kind of command and /etc/passwd, so what happened, this command is basically what we call the directory reversal, basically traversing a web server's actual web server. Mean, what is web server? Web server is also a computer, so you can actually access the computer's main password files or the shadow files that are actually important files. You can access it through directory reversal. And also cookie manipulation. Using cookie manipulation, you can hijack someone's session. Something like you already logged into a system and they somehow catches your cookie using man in the middle or something like that. So they can actually fake as you, and the attacker can log into your system without any password. That is kind of cookie manipulation. File inclusion, it's the directory reversal, same thing. Okay, this thing is actually the same thing, but you can access a particular exe file in the file inclusion. I already made a CTF on file inclusion. You can actually search my hack the box videos and you can get there how the file inclusion works. You can get there easily. Okay, then comes the cross-site scripting demo. I'm going to show you this right here, or not, if I showed it to last. Okay, I'm going to show it to the last. Just go to code vulnerabilities. What is code vulnerabilities? Code vulnerabilities means that when an application developer makes some mistakes for security purposes that are going to generate vulnerabilities. Basically, when you are commenting a source code, so that are good for developers, okay, technical persons, when another developer is accessing it, so it will be helpful for developers sometimes, but it's not for pen testers. So when you are commenting a code, that can actually leave a lot of scars, right? Leave a lot of secrets, so that is not good sometimes. Always just share instructions, not code. That would be good practice. After that, lack of error handling. What happens was, when a developer creates a web application or application, they don't think of it as like what can I say, they don't think of it like they will gonna a user gonna use that kind of strings for error purposes, like the error handling purposes. When When you search something like throw error in JS, and if you go try and catch errors, so you will find a lot of kind of errors. But sometimes developer just do this, even me as a developer sometimes do this. So there are a lot of type of errors. Okay, you can see here error names. So what you can do, you can actually specify a lot of errors to actually get a lot of value from it. Okay, that would be really helpful. Sometimes overly verbose uh, error handling means it happens in it was happened in WordPress sites. Like if you enter the username correct and if you enter the password wrong, the WordPress site will tell you that the password is wrong, not the username. So that is one kind of system, that is one kind of thing which is too bad. Okay, you shouldn't do this. You can say like better error message would be user ID or password is invalid. Okay, that is better than hard coded credentials. Like if you are hard coding some of the credentials, even if you are doing a hash, that can be not easily but somehow hacked. People with hard coded values sometimes face this. But yeah, this is kind of important to take care about. Sometimes this is also an issue. Okay, which is that output is output depending on the event timing. Attackers can influence other events and affect operation. Race condition means an infinite loop kind of condition. Okay, sometimes this can crash the server or something like that, so that can also happen. Okay, I'm not going to be able to give you examples of that, but it happens. So this is also a thing called unintended API usage. Sometimes what happens that you leak your API keys, right? This happens with a lot of developers, new developers. What they do is they leave the API keys unsecured. Okay, so the unsecured means they do not involve it in a environment variables or something like that. So that is unprotected. Okay, sometimes the API key is unprotected, and then comes the unprotected APIs. In general, unprotected APIs, if you are using insecure APIs, that are not going to good for your websites. Okay, then comes hidden elements, means in the HTML and XSS doesn't hide data code in the source code. You can generally get DOM information from websites from HTML, and I'm going to see you these things in the lab section today. I'm going to give you an example why what is important for this kind of purpose. And this, you can't do anything else, but you have to do something to stop that. Then comes the one good example would be this kind of example for the hidden elements would be usage of React.js or something like that can actually little bit of helping, because it was too big to be hacked. Then comes the code signing, means not having an SSL certificates to authenticate author's identity. So this actually ensures integrity. Then lack of code signing actually attackers to modify code between deployment and execution. That is also an issue. So we are going to talk about the API attacks and API attack resources tomorrow, but today let's just see some XSS labs. Okay, so just go to Portswigger and wait for a moment, because this somehow taking time. Okay, now go to the academy and go to learning paths. Is a race condition. I'm going to talk about it maybe if I had time, but not in the not while doing any kind of this kind of thing like in Comptia Pentest Plus. I'm not going to do that. Maybe after completing that. So let's just go to this section. Back. Yeah, let's just open it in a new tab. We're going to do this lab to understand cross-site scripting better. So this lab contains a simple cross-site scripting vulnerability in the search functionality to solve the problem. Perform a cross-site scripting attack that calls the alert function. Understandable. Let's just open this for a time. So I'm going to show you how to do this. Why I'm telling few minutes ago that why the view sources actually tells a lot. That will be going to clear to you. It takes a lot of time. Portfolio labs takes a little bit of time. I don't know why. Okay. Similar thing happened a little bit of time before. They had a lot of load. Otherwise I can do this in test PHP. Maybe I didn't did it, so if I do it somehow, that would be really good. Okay, let's just try this. I'm not doing any kind of lab. I'm just randomly testing it into this kind of application. Okay, this is a normal website. This is a website just for the hacking purpose. And here is a search art section. I'm just guessing that there can be a XSS. Okay, so somehow this won't working. I don't know why, but for a reason it's not working. Let's just click another time and just wait for it. Otherwise I can go and check a little bit of things. Okay, one thing to notice before hacking it or any other doing any kind of thing, one thing you have to notice that there is no JavaScript section. Oh yeah, there is a JavaScript section, but in the it's commented out. Okay, so there is no particularly JavaScript section, so definitely it's happening in the client side. First thing, let's just search something called hello, and there is a message called search for hello. Okay, what can you do right here? You can do one other thing, which will be the basic XSS or the payload for it would be, I'm just going to give it a random JavaScript. So right here, if I just type this thing alert1, you have to know a little bit of JavaScript for this. Okay, learn JavaScript, that would be really helpful. So script alert, this is a basic JavaScript which is going to give you an alert. Okay, if I go it and it gives us an alert, or it gives us this, so that means it has XSS, and here is the thing called look for potential SQL injection, cross-site scripting and cross-site request forgery. So it has XSS and it already tells us by this. Why I am telling this, there is a search for hello. When you search hello, why I am telling that this is a clear indicator that it can have the XSS, and the reason behind it is just I just see for it another time. Why I'm telling it? Because it was client side. Okay, so that's why it can have a XSS. So the Portsfigure website is really good for it, but I don't know why it's not working right now. You can do this in DVWA too. Okay, like if I try to do it, just open for your personal purposes. I want to show you a little bit of higher XSS to get a good idea of it, more good idea. In this in this lab, it was really good, but don't know why it's not working. But the Metasploit will work. Okay, so if I go to 192.168, so there is a Metasploitable. Go to the DVWA, sign up as admin, password. In the DVWA security, let's just do it a low first and go to the XSS reflected and search this script. I already copied it, right? So this thing will going to work in the DVWA low security too. Okay, but in the high security or medium security, sometimes it works, sometimes it not works. Why it not works? Because the script tag is actually banned from it. Okay, so what it does, str replace means the string replace. When there is a script tag, it will going to replace to a space or no space, nothing. Okay, that is good, but only for only for the script kind of thing. Like if you are using that only that kind of payload, then it's a thing. But you can do it with another payloads. Like if I use this, like image src equal to x. Why I'm using x? Because there is nothing called x, there is no image called x, and I'm just using it. So in on error, using on error, it's use in the HTML you can use it. On error, what can I do? I can generate a alert of 1. This is a good technique to do it. Maybe it works, and yeah, it works. So this is also a one kind of XSS. Then comes the XSS stored. What happens in XSS stored? Let's just make it a little low. In XSS stored, what happened was, if you just write a simple thing just for the test purposes, it also reflects here on, and it works. If you view source it, you can see that it also goes to backend. So basically what I told, that XSS stored is also working in backend, also showing in the front end. So we can actually give a script tag first. So if I write that script alert, okay, we can't paste it right here, but we can paste it right here. So if you write test and something like that, test 1, yeah, it worked because of the same thing, that it's just stored in that, just stored in the database. If you go to the medium section, probably you can run it too. Again, you can run it. Why you can run it? Because it was already stored. Whenever you refresh it to show the message, it will going to go to the database and fetching these messages. So that's why it's a cool thing to have, it's a cool thing. So if I write test 2 and paste the same thing, it's not going to work. It's working somehow. Okay, let's just log out from it and just go to admin, and maybe it was the previous one. Okay, maybe it was the previous one. So it's still logging. uh, let's just stop it. Okay, let's just stop it because I don't want to mess this up. You can see one thing, that the alert one is also here, and it's a message, not a not there is no scripts. And the same thing, the str replace, same thing is happening used here. So we can use the image tag or the image payload right here also, src x, because there is nothing called srcx, so we can generate an error, and the error will be a javascript code, or alert would be I can say hello or something like that. And test 3, it's showing me the alert one again, sorry, this one again, but it doesn't showing me this. It was kind of a problem to understand. Okay, let's just, if I just close it, if I just refresh it, and if I just start the virtual box again, it 190, yeah, and 5. Okay, it's already stored in it. I don't know how to remove it. Okay, I have to remove it from somehow, but you can understand that it already worked, because you can't see any messages. It didn't give us any error, let's just try it again. Images are C X on error. What I can do, I can generate alert, that definitely I can generate. Name cannot be empty. Okay, hello 3. One is always showing, so that's a that's a different thing. I have to remove it from the database to if I can show you a little better, but also it was kind of understandable that it's happening. You can understand it too. So this is basically what we call the XSS. I hope you can understand. Some of the things are actually messed up. If I can turn on the ports figure again, then I can show you a lot of things, but the ports figure not working for some particular reason. Okay, but yeah, you understand it, the XSS part. I'm going to show you a lot of XSS things after the Comptia Pentest Plus. If it happens, I'm going to show you a lot of things, but for the Comptia Pentest Plus, this is enough. So thanks for watching.